You are now tuned into Check This Out News. We connect the streets.
This is Mike Johns reporting live for Check This Out News here at the Crypto Invest Summit in LA. With us today, we got the big homie, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Draper. Yeah.
All right,
What's
great to
happening,
be
man?
here.
Great to be here.
It's
Great
terrific.
to have you.
It's fun.
So I want to first start off. Where do I want to begin with you? There's so many things.
There are some strange things out there around me, but it's good. I think I would start probably with crypto and why it matters.
Why does it matter?
Here's something that's happened to the world, and a lot of millennials out there, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, there was your grandfather's world, and that was a fiat world. And all of a sudden, this new thing came along. You've got Bitcoin, and you look and you say, wait a second, you guys put me $100,000 in debt. You gave me an education that's not relevant.
Right.
And now I'm supposed to listen to you and use your fiat currency?
Hell no!
Forget it.
Right.
I'm going to use this new crypto thing. And now crypto, it's decentralized. It's global. I can move it across borders.
Let's start
I can
right
do
there.
amazing things with it.
Let's start right there. We've been hearing this phrase, decentralized. It's almost like with tech and the cliche word is disruptive. For the average listener, what does decentralized actually mean?
Okay, well, it turns out that your dollars are centralized, and it's determined how many of those dollars and how those dollars are operated are all determined by a central bank.
Right.
And and that currency is all decided on. How much currency is out there in your country is all decided on by a centralized government. Okay? So now with a decentralized currency, you have the ability to spread decision making. And so the decision making now is being done by 100,000 miners of Bitcoin who are out there using, first they're searching for Bitcoin, but also they're checking to make sure that your Bitcoin is still stable.
Correct.
So they are, by having it be decentralized, two things are true. One is you can use it anywhere in the world, and the other is that it is more secure than your money in the bank.
Secure your bag.
Bitcoin's never been hacked, but your banks are getting hacked all the time.
What the hell did you just say?
Banks are playing whack-a-mole. You ever play that game?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're playing whack-a-mole to try to keep hackers away and keep your dollars secure. But your Bitcoin is very secure.
Got it. So I think one of the first entry points with just in embracing cryptocurrency would be entertainment. And we've seen what that has done, whether it's been PayPal to you name it. I'd love to say here in Hollywood, how would an artist, a musician benefit by using cryptocurrency? How would a record label benefit?
Oh my God. You know how when you watch those Star Wars movies, there are all those credits at the end?
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of credits.
Right.
Each of those people get like 25 cents mailed to them in the US mail in a check every time Star Wars hits another whatever $1 billion. Okay, they get 25 cents. It wastes a lot of time and a lot of money, and a lot of people never get those checks. A lot of people don't use them. With crypto, with Bitcoin, you can actually have all of that paid in Bitcoin. As the money comes in, you transfer it to Bitcoin, or maybe they pay in Bitcoin to go to the movie. But let's say they transfer it to Bitcoin, and then you would immediately get whatever you were meant to get into your Bitcoin wallet, and you wouldn't rely on people and the US Postal Service and all of that friction to get your money. You will get your money, and it will be honest because there's something called a smart contract now that has been created.
I love it.
And that smart contract is done completely in software on the blockchain. You don't need a lawyer in between you. You set up a smart contract for all of those musicians and all of those artists to get paid, and it's done, and they get it. And it goes into their Bitcoin wallet, and it's secure. And so I believe that this is really going to transform how the artists work. And then the artist can go directly to their fan base, and their fans can tip them with Bitcoin or some other crypto. They can be tipped. So like, I like a song that I hear on iHeartRadio.
Right.
I can send a tip very easily. I'm listening to it on my smartphone. I can push a button, send a tip. That artist will get some of it, and iHeartRadio will get some of it.
Nice. Speaking of music, what's your favorite hip hop artist today?
Oh boy, you know, I'm still sort of stuck on will.i.am because I got to know him really well, and we had a great time together. He actually sang my song "The Risk Master" with me, and we've had a lot of fun together.
Wow.
And so he's my favorite. It's got to be will.i.am.
So we would look at the artist not only making the music, but there's an economy that we can see out of this, right? So the artist is making the music, then the artist is doing performances. So we can see crypto impacting the likes of Live Nation or they're working with promoters and doing gigs.
You bet. When they go and they're performing, I mean, of course, it won't be long before you actually pay for your concert with Bitcoin or with some other crypto.
When do you see that actually happening?
I think that's probably 2 years away.
2 years.
And that's why I predicted that Bitcoin would be worth $250,000 in 2022, because I thought, well, it's going to pretty much eclipse the dollar in a number of years, and on its way, it'll become more valuable because there'll be more wallets out there.
Interesting.
But I suspect in 2 years you'll be able to pay for your concerts in Bitcoin. You can buy stuff at Overstock.com. There's a barrel of Kentucky Fried Chicken that is the Bitcoin barrel, and it's the only way you can buy it is with Bitcoin.
Are you for real?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I saw you can buy houses and yachts and cars and whatever else with Bitcoin. Yeah.
Two other areas that I want to cover. What is your thought in terms of education? First of all, I'm going to start with government. What has been the reluctancy, so to speak, with government and its embracement of cryptocurrency? From the days of Silk Roads to where we are with White House, what do you think is going on there?
Well, we are all under the thumb of the government, and they like it that way.
It is thuggish behavior from people in power.
And they're keeping their power any way they can, and they're centralized, and they're trying to keep their power any way they can. They see this and they say, this is a threat to my power. Instead of thinking, this is really good for society, and it frees people, and it flattens the economic cycle, and it drives more business and more wealth and more prosperity to society. Instead, those government officials who are threatened by it are saying, no, we can't have it. But here's what's great. These governments are in competition for us now.
Futures now, old man.
Because if you don't like the way your government is providing service, you can move to another government. And eventually those governments are going to be able to send their governance virtually to you. So there are a lot of parts of government that don't need to be terrestrial based, like your healthcare insurance or your pension, your Social Security. You don't need the government to hold that centrally for you. In fact, we don't even trust them to do that. I don't think we're going to get our Social Security.
I don't really have trust in any government.
But with Bitcoin or with crypto governance, with governments competing for us, they can reach across borders and grab you for certain services that government provides now.
Gotcha.
And you can get a decentralized service, and you're better off.
Makes sense.
And so the world's going to be awesome. This is a bigger deal than the Industrial Revolution. It's bigger than the Iron Age. It's bigger than the computer, and it's bigger than the internet.
Big league. Big league. Big league. Beat her, big league.
Because it's changing the entire world.
And the question is the world ready?
The world
is Donald. Let me ask you: is Donald Trump ready?
Probably not. But the world is ready because technology always achieves its purpose. the governments can block it in one place or another or stop it somehow, but eventually it's going to find its way. And so hopefully our government and Donald Trump will see the light and see that this is a real positive. Like Japan said, Bitcoin is our national currency now, one of our two national currencies.
Right.
You get the U.S. to do that, and it's game over.
Game over.
The U.S. basically will win the entire crypto world.
Clearly.
We want to remind you to please like our Facebook page if you haven't already. When you join, you'll be able to receive weekly updated news and events, live video messages, and most importantly, you'll be able to interact with tons of people just like you. So go on that button on top of your Facebook page and give it a click, or interact with us on Instagram. Without each and every one of you, Tech This Out would not exist. We couldn't do it without you. Make sure to repost and share different things you see on our page. The more you share, the better. Be sure to watch previous shows on our YouTube channel, and please subscribe so that you can be notified when we post new content. We really want to connect and hear from you, so please don't hesitate to message us.
So with that in mind, when we talk about is the world ready, I think there's a key component called education.
Oh,
and
you bet.
Here at Tech This Out, we're really big in terms of STEM learning. And so what is your thought with what could American school system do to prepare and maybe inspire kids to get involved with learning the crypto business? Because at the end of the day, right now in today's world, LA, you look at the syllabus and that's not on there.
Yeah.
So here we are, sometimes I look at when I'm at these tech events, it's as if we're in a bubble. Those who are in attendance can see the light, but then those, once we leave out the door, they don't really know what this is.
They don't know what's going on.
So how is the world
and
getting
eventually
ready?
it will come. When there's a technology, there's this early adopter thing.
Right.
And the early adopters see it early and great things happen, and they benefit by being early. Well,
in terms of education.
I know that education has been kept down for a long time.
Right.
And it's been kept down because the people who control education, the departments of education are centralized, the teachers' unions are centralized, the textbook manufacturers are centralized. They don't want change.
We are the change that we seek.
But the individuals who are trying to get educated on crypto or something else, they need this. And I started Draper University, and it's a school for heroes. They're 18 to 28 years old who are coming out of school a little lost, trying to figure it out, but want to do something really important with their lives. And we make them heroes. And what's great about it is that if there is some new thing, like here's Bitcoin, we just bring it in. We don't wait for some big bureaucracy and a teachers union and whoever else to decide this is okay to teach our children. We just say, bring it in. Bring it in. Let the children decide what it is that they want to hear. And they're not really children, they're adults. But I think education really needs a total revamp. And that's, I'm working on this 3 Californias thing.
Map on the screen here. So the top would be NoCal, the bottom SoCal, and then Cal would be Los Angeles. Looks like Orange County, maybe some of it.
Right. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, because I want us to have a restart. I want a fresh start. We have a real problem in California. It's almost gotten corrupt that it's so centralized, and so all the decisions made at the top. We really need some new forms of government that can help us do a better job for STEM learning or STEAM learning. We add art to it. And if you guys are out there in radio land or TV land and you're saying, why should I learn math? I say math is money. And then why should I learn science? I say science is the future. Science, and learn science fiction. They don't teach science fiction in school.
That's a gateway.
It's like
That's a gateway.
Unbelievable.
Why are we not funding this?
All these things, I'm an old guy, and all these things that happened have happened today were science fiction 25 and 30 years ago. I watched Star Trek, and we couldn't imagine the idea of a communicator. And now we got something that's so much better in a smartphone.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, because you're touching on a very good point. How could cryptocurrency be used to solve what's going on in states like Colorado, Arizona, where the teachers are, really just fed up with being underpaid? Is there a solution that crypto could have done? I'd love to hear your insight.
Well, I think crypto makes it so that people are paid a fair wage, whatever that ends up being. There could be something, and I've been playing around with this, there could be something in crypto that ends up being universal basic income, so that when people are out of work, there is something that comes to them that just keeps them alive.
Right.
But other than that, I think the marketplace can decide on what is the appropriate fee for a teacher, and I think parents will pay a lot to get really good education. And then all of these schools, I think, will want to pay their good teachers more, and their bad teachers will get fired.
Get fired.
And that's that's where the teachers union and I have a real problem, because they want everybody the same. The math teacher paid the same as the English teacher, paid the same as the science teacher, but the science teacher is hard to come by, and this, like a woman who's a science teacher who's really good, really understands it, she has to get paid the same. And if she decides she wants to stay at work from 8 to 5, 8 to 6, so that the young parents can work and still pick up their kids at school, the union comes down and says, no, we leave at 3. And that's messed up. We need a real revamp of that whole education system. And if we can get it, then the teachers will be paid more. The good teachers, the bad teachers will be out.
Weed them out.
And we'll have an amazingly well-educated population.
Love it. So my next to last question is, and this is big, you want to divide up the state of California. You know I had to ask this. So
yeah.
I want our listeners to understand, especially being that this is nationwide, why?
Okay, well, as I mentioned, California has centralized decision making, and it's so big that people who are making those decisions are not necessarily making them for your good.
Right.
And it's gotten a little bit corrupt. And it's not India yet, but it's corrupt. And it's a real problem. We have huge problems with water. We have the infrastructure spending's gone from 28% to 3%, because these guys aren't putting the money in that is needed to be put in, so that Oroville Dam doesn't break on Oroville and wipe out all the population there, so that a big flood doesn't destroy all of Santa Barbara.
Right.
It's and then in education, California ranks now 47th and 48th, math and English.
Sad.
And it's
It used
horrible.
to be that way, but
It used to be number one.
Right,
now it's 47, 48. At some point you have to say, something's wrong here, we need a fresh start. And there isn't a way to do a fresh start with the existing entrenched bureaucracy that's in place.
Do you see?
And so if you have 3 new Californias, you have an opportunity to build out your infrastructure, improve your education, have lower taxes and better services. And you could experiment with UBI, with the Universal Basic Income. You can do all those things. And people are empowered. People can get closer to their government. They can get... Right now our government is still living way in the past, and it's centralized and out of your control. If you wanted to change something, it would be very difficult to do.
Right, absolutely.
I'm trying to, and it's very difficult to do. And now I've got it. Now I'm getting it onto the ballot, and then it's going to be up to all of you. Right. It's going to be up to the people to figure out, hey, is it worth it at this point to change California, bring it into 3 states, and do something extraordinary with it? Or do you want the old status quo that's getting worse and worse? Your education's just going to get worse. Your infrastructure's just going to get worse. Every time you hit a pothole, I want you to think of 3 Californias. Cal3.com.
I love it. Last question. You're a futurist, forward thinking. My goodness. as I listen to you, I'm thinking, would you ever consider running for governor, if not president? Last question is, where do we see Tim Draper in the year 2020 and beyond? What do you ultimately want to accomplish and leave as your legacy?
Okay, so
besides being governor or president.
Okay, governor or president, you're too kind.
Yeah, I could see it.
But my wife would never allow it, for one.
Okay.
And the other is that I'm looking to do what I can to try to make it a really awesome world, so that my kids and my grandkids all get to live in a really awesome world. And I want it to be fair. I want it to be honest, straightforward. And what's really interesting is the blockchain is fairer, more honest, and more straightforward than any bureaucrat or any individual person, because we're all self-interested and we all want what's best for us.
Right. That's the problem with being human. So you see, you're really behind the whole blockchain revolution and see that as the future of making a positive change for humanity.
Yeah, and 2022, you said 2020, and I'm sort of thinking, that's not far enough out.
We can go 2025
it's gotta go,
if you want.
We got to go pretty far out, because I tend to be thinking 10 to 15 years out. What's the world going to look like? What's California going to look like if we allow it to slide further and further into the depths that it's in? I mean, we have so much unemployment.
Spoken like a true politician, Tim Draper.
Who's not running for anything, ever.
That's what Oprah said.
Is Oprah running for president?
We don't know.
Oh, that would be cool.
But the whole point is you're delivering a message that I think that's well received. And you're identifying the problem. And good business, as we know, is to be able to identify a problem and let alone find a solution. And that's what we need. That's what the state of California needs. That's what the city of LA needs, right?
So
Cal3.com
may be your solution.
I love it.
And California can then lead the charge. It can be like, as it is, California's always leading. They lead in Hollywood, they lead in medicine, they lead in technology. They lead. Why aren't we leading in government? This is a great opportunity. 3 fresh new states. Go lead in government.
I love it. Tim, it's always a pleasure.
Great,
this
pleasure.
Is Tim Draper, Check This Out News. iHeart, you know the business. Westside, can you throw up your Westside?
Westside, okay, I can do that.
All right,
it's a little
that's
like
the Mork and Mindy
it's
version.
a little like live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. We'll just go like that.
Okay. I had it. I had the cross.
That was a moment. I love it.
There
I
we
love
go.
it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Which gang did I just join?
No, that's no gang.
Okay, good.
That's hip hop for West Side.
Either way, I'm good. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks again. And I love the tie, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I got
it. Did we get a close up on the tie?
I got this from my friend Rahul, and he
we all have a Raul in our life.
And this is this guy does is the
Amador Valley
Amador Valley High School Investment Club.
Where could someone get a tie like this?
I think you got to go speak at Amador Valley to their investment club.
Got it.
Yeah, to the high school.
That's it.
Anyway, Rahul's great, and he's Rahul. If you're out there, you're awesome.
Thank you so much.
Check this out, America.
We connect the streets.